Good day everyone, my name is Ryan Miriam Olabimpe and I'll be taking you guys on separation of power. The doctrine of separation of power was formulated by the French jurist Baron de Montesquieu. Montesquieu distinguished three different classes of separation of power, that is, power shared between the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. So what then is separation of power? Separation of power can be defined as the division of governmental powers between organs of government, that is, the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. In the case of Honorable Alhaji Abdullahi versus Sokoto State House of Assembly, separation of power has three implications. One, the same person should not be part of more than one of the three arms of government. Two, that one branch should not dominate or control another arm. Three, that one branch should not attempt to exercise the function of the other arm. Basically, an individual cannot belong to the two branches of government. A branch of government cannot interfere in the affairs of another branch of government. Separation of power, being a constitutional concept, is the division of governmental powers between the legislative, executive, and judiciary. Therefore, it can be found in the Constitution in Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution for the legislature, Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution for the executive, and Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution for the judiciary. Section 4 just basically tells us that the legislature has the power to make laws for the peace, order, and good governance of the state. Section 5 rests the power of the executive in the president, the governor, ministers, commissioners. Then, Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution grants judicial powers to the courts as recognized under the Constitution, that is, the 1999 Constitution as amended. The essence of separation of power is to avoid abuse of power. However, the division between the three branches of government is not a watertight compartment. What does it mean? It's not just that. It's not just the functions that I've stated earlier that they will do. The Constitution introduced some checks and balances so as to ensure that none of the branches would become an absolute and uncontrollable authority. In the case of the legislative arm, we know that the legislature is saddled with the responsibility of making laws for the country by provision of Section 4. However, the legislature may also perform quasi-judicial functions. By virtue of Section 143 and 188 of the 1999 Constitution, the legislature has the power to remove the president, a governor, even a minister for gross misconduct. By virtue of Section 88 of the 1999 Constitution, the legislature also has the power to conduct investigation into the conduct of affairs of any person, authority, ministry, or even government department. The purpose of such investigation is to expose corruption, inefficiency, or waste in execution or administration of laws within its legislative competence. It is also noteworthy that before the legislature can pass a bill into law, they need the assent of the president. Without that, a bill cannot become a law. What is a bill? A proposed law. So such bill cannot become a law without the assent of the president, except in special circumstances whereby the legislature can veto the bill. In the case of the executive arm of government, Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution provides the powers of the executive arm of government. This power is vested in the president, the government, the governors, the ministers, commissioners, and so forth. The executive arm of government is saddled with the responsibility of implementing laws and policies. Section 12, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution states that no treaty between the Federation of Nigeria and any other country shall have the force of law. What does this mean? Unless such treaty is domesticated into the laws of Nigeria, that treaty shall not be applied in our country, Nigeria. So this is where we can see another aspect of checks and balances between the legislature and the executive. The executive may implement treaties, but until it is ratified in our laws, such treaties cannot take force in this country. They may just be persuasive in nature, not binding or authoritative in nature. The president, who is also part of the executive arm of government, has the power to appoint members of the judiciary, to appoint special advisors, ministers, ambassadors. But such appointment has to be approved by the legislature before they can take their positions. Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution vests judicial powers in the courts as provided in the Constitution. However, we can see the doctrine of checks and balances by virtue of Section 42(3) of the 1999 Constitution, where the CJN is empowered to make rules with respect to the practice and procedures of a high court. The function of a CJN is mostly judicial. However, by virtue of this section, the CJN can perform legislative functions. In conclusion, separation of power means division of governmental power between the legislature, executive, and judiciary. However, this division is not in a watertight compartment as I've stated earlier. The Constitution has provided checks and balances in which the other branch of government can check each other to avoid uncontrollable authority. Thank you.